all of this was edited inside a single completely free desktop app. No Premiere, no Final Cut, no plugins. And there's one specific feature inside this software that almost nobody talks about. And it's the reason I can create even a perfect day-to-night transition where the virtual camera movement stays exactly the same between two shots. Or similarly, I can combine clips filmed months apart.
I'll show you exactly how to do this. But first let me show you how the whole software actually works, because it has changed a lot more than you probably think.
So if you bought a 360 camera, you already know the magic, the shoot first, frame later freedom. But let's be honest about the desktop workflow. For a long time, Insta360 Studio was basically a clip viewer with an export button. And if you wanted to build an actual video, you had to export everything first and then finish the edit in Premiere or Final Cut.
That's what most people still do. But here's what changed. And this is the part most creators completely missed.
The classic interface, the Media tab, is still there. You open a single clip, choose your format, add keyframes, apply deep tracking, adjust stabilization and export. Simple, fast, great for quick reframing. But then the Project tab appeared, and this is where Insta360 Studio became something completely different. You can now drop multiple clips directly onto a timeline, trim them, rearrange them, build an entire video without ever leaving the app. And here's the important part. All the powerful 360 reframing tools are still available for every single clip on the timeline. You can adjust the viewing angle, add keyframes, apply deep track, use flow state stabilization, fine-tune the colors per clip individually, which is a big deal. Because now the workflow actually matches the shoot first, frame later mindset. You build the whole video first, then you go back and fine-tune each shot.
And then you can save your edits and even work on multiple projects, switching between them whenever you want. So the whole experience starts to feel much closer to a traditional editing environment.
You have full control over your audio. You can adjust the volume of each clip individually, mute your video or the music entirely, or mix your original audio with background music. There's no dedicated mixer yet, but you still have access to volume controls after selecting a clip or an individual audio track. To add music, you can browse dozens of tracks or simply drag and drop your own if needed. This helps you avoid copyright issues and use any royalty-free music for your project. So depending on the type of video you're making, you can either build a clean music montage or keep the natural sounds and dialogue for a more immersive result.
But we'll come back to something even more useful in a moment, because once you start editing a real video, you quickly run into another question. How do you make it actually look interesting without spending hours animating everything?
First, let's talk about what's actually in the transitions menu, and this goes beyond basic cross dissolves. Insta360 Studio includes several 360 specific transitions built directly into the editor. Effects like warp, teleport, portal, and little planet transitions between clips. And because these effects understand the geometry of 360 footage, they often look surprisingly natural, in a way that would be impossible to achieve in a standard editor with standard footage. If you prefer something more subtle, you also have cleaner options, slides, shifts, zooms. So depending on your editing style, you can keep things cinematic or go for something more experimental. But here's the thing, the transitions menu is just one part of where the real magic happens.
And what about the trick I mentioned at the beginning? That one uses additional features in Insta360 Studio. I get to it right after the next section.
Normally, if you want to animate a 360 shot, you need to set multiple keyframes manually. But sometimes, you just want a quick camera move without building it from scratch. With the built-in movements, you can instantly apply things like a turn, a push, a pull, a spin, or a flip. One click, done. These are surprisingly useful for travel videos, vlogs, or action shots, anywhere where a little bit of virtual camera motion makes the footage feel more alive. To finish the look, you can drop in animated text templates. This works great for main titles, location tags, dates, or simple on-screen labels. You can choose from different templates and then customize the text, size, and position. So with just a few clicks, your edit can start to look like a proper polished video, entirely inside Insta360 Studio.
Alright, now we get to the feature I've been building towards since the beginning of this video. This feature sounds almost too simple, But creatively it opens up possibilities that most people never think about.
You shoot a clip at the exact same location during the day, then you come back later, and you film the same spot again. On the first clip, you create your virtual camera movement. You set your keyframes, defining where the camera starts, how it moves, where it ends. You get everything looking exactly the way you want it. Then you select those keyframes, you copy them, and you paste them onto the second clip. The framing is identical, only the environment changed. And you can apply the same logic to completely different scenarios, different seasons, different weather conditions, before and after comparisons, shots filmed a year apart. Once you start thinking about it creatively, it opens up a whole category of edits that would otherwise require a lot of manual work to line up. Here's an extra tip. You can trim both clips at the same frame, delete the end of the first clip and the beginning of the second, and add a simple transition between them. The result can be a seamless day-to-night video where the virtual camera movement stays perfectly consistent between both shots, and it works in other scenarios too. No jump cut, no mismatched motion.
Now, because I'd like to be honest about this, there are still a couple of things that are a little bit frustrating.
The desktop version doesn't include all the AI auto-editing tools available in the mobile app. The built-in movement options are great, but the app won't create the entire video for you. Shot lab effects are also missing, so this platform is more of a manual powerhouse than an automated one. But it still includes everything you need to finish your video without relying on expensive third-party software.
Overall though, the direction is clear. Insta360 Studio has evolved from a simple export tool into a genuinely capable editing platform, and the fact that it's completely free with every Insta360 camera makes it hard to argue with. But before you go, I wanna leave you with something. Got the keyframe copy trick I just showed you? I've been using it for a while now, and there's a video on this channel where I used it multiple times to sync virtual camera movements between shots I filmed with completely different camera settings. It's about low-light videography with the Insta360 X5. So on one level, it shows exactly how this camera performs in challenging lighting, which is something a lot of people care about before buying. But now that you know how this technique works, see if you can spot the shots where I used it. They are in there, and they were not made in Premiere.